Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gridiron Gladiators. Tonight, Coach's post-game show. My battle with BC Duggan and his Georgia Bulldogs. All I can say was it was an exhausting game. Quite a battle between two users who were really giving it their all in this game. It was, if you have read my report in the Tuscaloosa News, then you know how the game ended out. But other than that, it was a hell of a game. BC Duggan, you are really a top-notch player, my friend. Great job on the win. Kind of come to expect this between the two of us here since our days in X3B. Great job there, my friend. What else can be said? Just little highlights of the game, really. I mean, we came in ranked third in the nation, top 25 actually, and we were looking to finish strong and looking to get the next win number 5 for us, and we were looking to stay undefeated in the SEC. Georgia just came out with a great game plan. They drove the ball down the field on our defense, on my defense actually, and scored right off the bat and get them up 7-0. My offense really didn't do much of anything. Couldn't really do much against that defense. They followed up my running attack all night. Grant just had a tough time trying to find holes in that suffocating Georgia defense. I really didn't have any big runs the whole night. That's kind of how frustrating it was trying to run the ball against that defense. Let's see. On the other fact, we have really after that, I went 3 and out on my next possession. Then he drove it down again. But on this drive, I knocked out his quarterback Murray and knocked him out for the game. And later on in the injury report, knocked him out for the week. And this is BC, who's already without his #1 running back for 4 weeks, and so that's going to be a tough road there. That means 4 weeks. He's still got another 3 weeks. You better hope for a bye week before that Florida game, because that's going to be major. But anyway, knocked him out, knocked Murray out, put in their backup quarterback, Hudson Mason. Interesting name. But anyway, he basically helped Georgia drive the ball down the field, score another touchdown. Georgia was up 14-0 at this point. Then I get the ball back, and we drove it down before halftime. For some reason, we just something just clicks in our head, and we just go before when it gets close to halftime. But anyway, we drove it down, and then we got down to Georgia's with a we got down with a mixture of run and pass, and then Georgia trying to stop me. And then we get down to the red zone of Georgia, down to the 2-yard line. Then I run a toss sweep to Grant. He punches it in, up touchdown, and we're up 14-7. Actually, Georgia's up 14-7 at the half. Third quarter, basically defensive fest for both teams by this point. It was both teams really had difficulty running the ball. It was just BC's running backs were a little bit more successful against my defense than my running attack was against his. But it was really a great game either way. I kept holding Georgia on 3 and outs and stuff, so they had to punt. It just seemed like to me in the game, BC was kind of trying to be careful with Hudson Mason, like he didn't want to do too much with him. Like Hudson didn't exactly know the entire playbook, so he was just kind of giving him a handful of plays to maybe run. But he would never try to try anything big and major in the game. So anyway, so we get the ball back. We're still down 14-7. We drove it down towards the end of the third quarter, and we get down to the 2-yard line, and again go towards the left, and And at this point, we get to the 1 yard line. Grant's running the ball, gets to the 1 yard line, and all of a sudden, it seems like he just gets stacked up by the defense of Georgia, and then somehow he just broke through like Trent Richardson used to do a few seasons ago for my team, uh, and scored the second touchdown. And we're tied 14-14 going into the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, have to give it to BC. He dissected that clock in the fourth quarter. He took it from the start of the fourth quarter to about the 1:15 mark in the fourth quarter, where he drove it down literally and got within field goal range. A couple times he did try to go for the big timers. They were not successful against my defense. So forced him to go for the field goal. He kicked the field goal, 17-14 at this point for Georgia. Uh, Everybody, I'm sure he's elated. The stadium's going crazy. And I think those Georgia fans were thinking, oh, okay, this is in the bag now. Really. So, start my drive. I get the ball down the field, mixture of run and pass. Most of it was pass. We get down to Georgia's red zone. We're really looking good. Then we kind of get stupid, and McCarron gets a sack. Just waited too long on the play, and I get sacked up, and pushes us back a little bit. And so we have no other choice but to go for the field goal. At this point, BC tries to play the head game, call timeout, freeze my kicker. So I call timeout, kind of get him settled down, concentrate on the kick but needed to be. So we're still going with that. And then I called another timeout to kind of really make sure my kicker's head is in gear. He's a senior, this is last kick he'll ever be doing for his career. But anyway, he just knocked it right through the middle, no problem. Icing don't work on this kid. He kicks it through 17-17 all going into overtime. So beginning of the first overtime, I lose the toss. Georgia gets the win on the toss. But he decided to pick defense first. So I'm like, okay, fine. So then go from there. And here comes the first drive. We go from 25 right down to the 4-yard line of Georgia. Try to punch it in a couple times, get down to the 2 and then the 1-yard line. Third down, try to pass, didn't really work. Fourth down, call the play that's been very successful in other leagues and everything. I just thought it would work. And where Grant and Fowler, my fullback, all slant to the left. So BC has defense, goal line defense in there. So play goes. McCarron throws a perfect strike, baiting the rush to Fowler. And what does that little dipshit do? He drops the freaking ball. My mouth dropped when it happened. Not only to the fact that this was fourth down, and BC mentioned on the forum today that his mouth dropped too when he saw that kid drop it. So basically, 4 and out, no points. All BC has to do is either kick a field goal or score to win. They take it from the 25 down to the 1, and then gutsy call. BC called an option play on the 1-yard line. Just dips his little sophomore quarterback around the end zone. Ball game, and Georgia escapes with a 23-17 win against my Crimson Tide. BC, hats off to you, my friend. Excellent game. Couldn't have asked for a better game from a better player. This was definitely one for the books between the two of us. Other than that, everybody, have yourselves a great evening, and we'll check you later.